I'm just a suggestion for the outside.
We could.
I'm just a guest, so I can't make, can't make it.
A guest can make suggestions, but
will we go off of them?
Yeah.
That's too easy, we'll see how that goes. Y'all ready?
Ready, Joe.
This is exciting.
Rock this.
All right, what's going on, everybody? We are live in Tampa on location for the Was It Good Though podcast, where we discuss, debate, and sometimes argue on movies and TV shows. Yes, I am one of your hosts. My name is Jazz. I am joined with my brother Jason. How are you doing?
I'm doing
live, seeing you.
I'm doing well, Jazz. How are you today?
I am good. I'm excited for this episode, and unfortunately,
Kris couldn't make it today, so there's only two of us, but we do have another Kris. This is not planned, not intentional. It just happened that way. Coincidence? Yes. Kris, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank y'all for having me. I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to see the movie. Happy to chop it up with y'all. Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it.
of course, we had to go to a different multiverse and scoop up a Kris that saw the movie when we saw it.
Exactly. We even got a Crystal on the side.
Hey, Crystal.
So we got Chris's everywhere. So no lack of those. But we're here to discuss one of the franchises that began me and Jazz on this podcast journey. Scream 6.
Yes, 6th installment.
The 6th installment in a franchise. Jazz, you were kind of worried about this movie.
I was, not no kind of, all the way.
You were worried because we were missing our leading lady. Ned wasn't in the movie. Spoiler alert for those who don't know. But we will get to that. It is addressed. It is touched on within the movie. But man, do you just want to?
I do want to add, we are fresh out the theater. Like, we just went to go see the movie, so pretty much raw reaction of all of that. So since the movie did just drop, if you have not seen it, turn the pod off. But before you turn the pod off, what they need to do, Jason?
Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your mama, sister, brother, cousin, and your daddy too. We here.
And we, trying to figure out, was it good though?
Was it good though?
And share it with your people at church, because people at church like to watch movies too.
They need to be on their P's and Q's when it comes to these horror movie rules. Everybody must know.
They do. And just want to go ahead and give a warning. This episode might go off the rails a little bit, because Scream is a lot of passion in that. So
it is. So we can pop this off. I mean,
I'm ready.
Scream is infamous for the intro scene. The intro scene is something that has been around every year. We try to see, hey, can we up it? I feel like the only one so far that really hit the nail on the head was Scream 2 for me personally. So how does this intro scene measure up for y'all?
Kris, I'm gonna let you go first.
It doesn't measure up because this one was dumb as hell. She was dumb as hell. Like, for real, why would you keep going down? We can get spoilers, right?
You can
okay, alright, we can get the spoilers. Okay, so once it was established that like her date, like this isn't her date, her date's being weird, why would she keep going down this dark alley by herself in a dangerous ass city?
She thought he was in danger, so she wanted to go save his life.
But even before that, he was being weird about where he was. There was disconnect. And then this is the thing though. Why I'm a blonde-haired white woman, guys, she don't know is in danger. Why am I gonna keep going down an alley to save him? She don't even know where he is. She don't know where he is. He don't even know where she is. They get confused.
You just said a blonde white woman, and you asking all the questions. How many movies you done seen where Jason? Am I right?
That's fair. But to that point though, Scream is supposed to be. And maybe they like are parodying that, but Scream is supposed to be smarter than that. I just feel like they kind of relied on like some dumb shit.
Well, I'm not going to necessarily say they're smarter than that because I've seen Sydney make countless mistakes in 5 different. Well, not the fifth. The fifth movie she was on point from the beginning to the end. But she even makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but this young lady was a horror movie professor. Like she understood the psychology of what people are. But it just goes to show when you feel somebody's in danger, somebody need help. It's just in you to go check on them or to see if they're okay. And it kind of, for her, it threw her off her game. And he even called that out, which made me think about Scream 3, right? The Scream 3 because in the previous movie, it goes, because Roger Jackson, he does the actual voice of Ghostface. He's the audio that goes on. So this one, it wasn't his voice. Right. It was just some regular guy's voice.
I know.
Scream 3, the biggest thing in that movie is how you're able to voice change when you're standing there in front of them or on the phone. Which it actually makes more sense in 2023 than it did in 2001 or 2000.
I think it was 2000, yeah. But really 2000s.
It was, so it makes more sense now in how you can actually change your voice on the phone in the mid of the conversation. What did you think about that point, Jazz?
I thought it was great because you out here referencing Scream 3 a lot. And we will be referencing that a lot. A lot of callbacks to Scream 3. Because I know some of y'all bash it. But
considering that this movie, since Jazz is here, what was your favorite Scream Easter egg that was dropped in this movie? That way I don't have to talk about Scream 3 ever again.
Ooh, this one? You put me on the spot.
I did, because I'm tired of Scream 3 conversations, so we gonna
when we have Scream conversations, we don't talk about Scream 3.
We gonna
listen, Jazz. Scream 3 is at the bottom. It's at the bottom. And that's not necessarily an insult because the other five I feel like are good. It's not. It sounds like an insult, but like if everything else is like good to great, something has to be last.
My nigga, what?
Something
That's like you telling you got 3 kids and you just like, look, you make the worst grades, but I still
true.
But listen, if you got 3 kids and one gets an A, one gets a B, and one gets a C, like
the one with the C is trash, right?
I'm not saying they trash, but
that might not
they
be
trash for it up to.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But they may be creative. That one may be
exactly, and that's where
in a different field. You never know.
But anyway, back to this intro. I thought this introduction was fire. I enjoyed this introduction. I knew that bitch was gonna die, but this scene, did it give you a callback to a previous slasher film? Okay, so
I know what you did last summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
The scene where
she wanted to do the alley.
When she went through the alley.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was just like, okay, I know what you did last summer. Easter egg right there. So, because he killed her behind the dumpster. Speak, Jason. Nobody can hear you. Don't be trying to do sign language.
Hey, every movie we watch, we got sign language in it now.
This is true. Shout out to them, ASL.
But I was gonna say about I know what you did last summer, and I felt like what's that actress? Was it Sarah Michelle Gellar?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like in that one she was being kind of dumb too. She could have escaped.
So
I felt like it was that same kind of callback. So if that's what they were referencing, then that's fire. Because I just feel like this woman, because like what happened? I think she got a call or something, or like she heard the sounds behind her. She jumped and got scared. That, in my opinion, that's when she should have got the fuck out the house.
She should have started running.
She should have started running. That's why I say she was dumb. For her to still stay there and investigate, that's why she lost me.
I mean, she was absolutely dumb. There's no way I'm going in the alley to go see about anybody. If it sounds like I'm on the phone with somebody who I met online and he's being attacked, I'm gonna be like, okay, so I'm gonna go back in the restaurant and let them know you are in danger. What the fuck I'm about to do? I can't do nothing for him. And if he wasn't cute, then I damn sure ain't risking my life. Sis, what? He could have been a catfish. Like, no.
But then this movie takes a turn, right? It's completely different from any other movie we see. So she gets killed. It's the opening kill. We're used to that. That happens every movie. Doesn't change. But this time the guy reveals himself. We're 5 minutes in, and it's Jason. Well, he's Jason in the movie. He is in Spider-Man franchise as Flash Thompson. I can't think of his name currently, but he kills the girl. He goes to the alley. He puts the suit in the backpack, and he just walks off like he's Spider-Man or something. Like he just goes off into the night. But then he receives a call. So how y'all feeling now?
But before he receives a call, you remember he ran into Tara on the street.
He did.
Tara.
So I was just
he runs into Tara mid of his thing. That was definitely a different thing, but we see, and we gotta talk about Tara in this movie. Tara and Sam, they had some interesting character developments, and I'm definitely interested in seeing where Jazz stands as far as with Sam.
You wanna get into it?
Not yet. So like I said, so we get Jason. He goes into his apartment. He gets his ghost face call. And what did you think about this kill scene?
Well, I would say, looking at it, I'm like, okay, is he just doing this? Is he working with somebody else? Because when he was just like, don't be doing the voice, we told each other that we're not going to do the voice. And I'm just like, I don't think that's your babe. Your babe probably did. But then I was thinking to myself, because I feel like we've seen movies where certain characters try to portray a killer that was a serial killer, because we saw it in Saw. Which is, we recently discussed that when the agent that basically took Jigsaw's place, he pretended a murder that he committed for somebody who killed his sister was actually Saw. And then that's when Jigsaw came and was like, nah, nigga, I didn't do that. But this scene also paid homage to another slasher that dropped in the early 90s, Urban Legend.
Okay.
When he opened up the refrigerator and his lover was in there, but in Urban Legend it was the dude's. Oh no, I'm sorry. In Urban Legend it was the microwave. The dog was in the microwave. So that's what I thought of when I saw it. I was just like, he probably fucked up in the refrigerator. You know how pissed off I would be? What if he cooked earlier that day and had a bomb ass meal in the refrigerator? Now it's all blood and shit on it.
I mean, considering what happened after you opened the refrigerator, I don't think that meal would have mattered.
I'm just saying.
Or it would have been on the floor. Either way.
Ghostface ate that shit.
I don't want to sound nitpicky, but I feel like I knew that was coming. That he was gonna be chopped up in the refrigerator. Like that was kind of like. It seemed kind of obvious.
And you know what? I'm okay with it, right?
You're okay.
I'm okay. So some stuff is it's still a horror movie at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So some tropes, some things you're gonna need the aimless white chick running, falling. You need that. Mm-hmm. You need the walking down the long hallway. Every scene, if you think, oh, there's something gonna pop out, something you need that. So like, I'm okay with somebody being in the refrigerator dead because I mean we never met the person, but it was an off-screen kill. Mm-hmm. It is a beheading, right?
It was. His head was on black.
His head was on a different platform, so I was cool with that. So I'm even regardless of how it comes, but that also kind of touches on the brutality of the movie. So Scream 4 for me would have been the most aggressive, like as far as kills, as far as how they went into it. But this movie.
Even more than 5, you think? I feel like 5, like, kind of fucked Dewey up.
He did. But the way they were showing organs and all these different things within this. Not saying they didn't previously, but they were really going forward in this movie. So for me, I feel like this is definitely they said it was the most brutal. I feel it was the most brutal and the most aggressive in how they were going into these kills.
I would say one thing you said about being horror movies, like some of the tropes, I would say that in the last 3 years, some of the horror movies we've seen have kind of pushed back against that. Like a movie like maybe Malignant. I would say a movie like maybe even like The Black Phone. Even like Smile to some extent. I know you hate Smile, but I'm just using that as an example. I'm just using that as an example. I feel like some of these movies in the last couple of years have kind of pushed back at what like we feel like a horror movie is supposed to be, and like we're seeing new things. So that's why I don't want to sound like nitpicky because I'm actually really open with horror movies because like I'm not nitpicky, but it's like we don't have to rely on tropes because in the last couple of years like there's been like a pushback against. At least I feel like there has been.
Which is fun. Yeah. And I'm not against that. Yeah. But Scream has always been the base for the reset of horror movies.
True.
It's all whenever horror movies are going to shit, Scream comes around, they reset, and people then have to follow it or take things from it to make whatever they're doing better. Now, Scream came out last year. Last year was a great year for movies, period, in my opinion.
I agree.
Also, great movie, great for horror movies. So for Scream to come back after they just made a movie that did well, to make this movie, which I feel was done very well, and what are they going to go into, right? So we get I'm kind of speed, but it's like I said, it's open discussion. We get into the horror movie requel rules. The rules of this movie. How did y'all feel about the rules of a sequel to a requel? How did y'all feel about this?
What you think, Jazz?
Man, it was just a lot. You talking about Mindy's monologue?
Yeah. She definitely she nerded out was not the word. That she went crazy as far as with it, but I loved it because it showed that Randy really jumped out of her within this movie. And I love the callback to, close to the end when they in the band. And they're talking about this is exactly what happened to my uncle. What the fuck are we doing in here?
Okay, so first comment on Mindy's monologue. I absolutely loved it. Like, I thought Mindy's monologue was dope because she touched on so many different things that you heard in the previous films, and then also stuff that you've seen applied in the previous films, and of course that we saw in this one. And like, she was my favorite character out of all of this entire movie. Like, I love Mindy through this whole movie. I thought Mindy was hilarious. She went through some shit, but damn,
she got fucked up, bro. Mindy, she got because I guess in the beginning she was her arm, and then she got stabbed on the train, so she got attacked twice. I mean, I can't think of any other characters. I know so many characters who've been like they've been attacked, but maybe they got away. like who actually got stabbed. So for her to get, Tara,
I mean, see it.
like in the same movie, like to actually like be draw
Oh,
that's what I mean. My bad. Like to actually like draw blood twice, because even with the cut on her arm, it was bleeding profusely. And then
It still be. I think it still be Tara. Like, cause in the first, like in Scream 5, she got stabbed in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then when they caught her in the hospital, he was chasing her in the hospital. She was bleeding again. Well, her stitches reopened as she was trying to get away from Ghostface.
Yeah.
So she was bleeding then.
Yeah.
Oh, so then I definitely say see it. Because in Scream 4, she got stabbed by Jill, and then in the hospital.
Okay, that's right. I guess I was thinking like this Ghostface stabbing somebody the same character twice.
Technically, Jill was Ghostface. She just didn't have her outfit on.
True.
Yeah. So I get. I mean, I get.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Mindy. I like her monologue too, but she did go through it. But what y'all think about like specifically with some of the rules? I can't remember all of them verbatim. I know one is that any character was open, was could be killed. Yeah, what y'all think about the rules?
So well, this is a franchise. This makes it a franchise. So with this one here, it has to go bigger. It has to be more blood, a bigger body count. Any legacy act can get it. And that does mean that Carpenter's sisters can also die in this movie, which they kind of play with that trope a lot between Sarah and Sam, because they kept on basically that their theme was let it go, or let me go. You have to be able to let it go so we can push forward within our relationship. But then she just went through and just kind of pointed out who each person in the movie was. She thought she was an exception to the rule because she survived the original killings. But as the new core or the new group pointed out, like that means that you're on table too if the legacy acts are on the table. So that means there are no rules really. So who can die and how they die.
And then for the simple fact they were just like, who's suspect? Which reminded me of the conversation of when Dewey and Randy had the conversation of who's the suspect. It's like, could it be Gail Weathers? Could it be Mickey when they were talking about it in Scream 2? And then Dewey was like, no, you could be a suspect. And Randy was like, well, if I'm a suspect,
you a suspect.
So I thought that conversation gave a good solid callback to Scream 2. But I thought it was definitely dope. So how did y'all feel about Sam and Tara's relationship after everything that happened from Scream 5 to where they are now?
It was kind of what to be expected, I guess, because they were already kind of on the box a little bit from Scream 5 with with Sam coming back into Tara's life. And I mean, I guess there could have been an opportunity, they could have trauma bonded, but with seeing the way that Sam was acting, like just being kind of like a helicopter sister in a way, and just trying to like be really, really kind of dominating and controlling. That just about seeing those dynamics, I'm not surprised that they were kind of that they had the antagonistic relationship that they had. And I think it added some emotional depth to the plot that sometimes don't get in horror movies. So that was good. I like that.
So I enjoyed the dynamic between the two. It was a bit annoying at first, but you understand, right? You have somebody you love or somebody you're in a relationship with begins to just go through slicing and killing your friend group, and you go through this with your sister because of what you feel is a secret that you kept. But regardless of what you kept, her knowing the secret wouldn't have protected her and knowing anything. It would have just been something she would have been aware of. So with Sam coming after she was gone for 5 years, and just to drop all this on her after she got almost murdered, I get why she would have been kind of hesitant to her, but she also opened up to having her in her life, especially since we still don't know who the mom is, where the mom is, and that gets brought up. A lot of fan service or a lot of fan questions we were asking after the last movie, they did us service by answering those questions the best they can. But Jay, what did you feel about the relationship? Because I know the relationship between them, I feel was just the weakest part for you. So what did you?
I think it was done a lot better this time. I think the growth in both of their characters was shown very well in this movie. And y'all know I hated Sam, but I definitely liked her character in this movie.
Martin, can you believe it?
Listen, I'm a little surprised. I'm a little bit surprised. But hold on, why do you hate Sam? Because
I thought she was trash as fuck in Scream 5.
She doesn't really hate somebody the way you hate Sam in Scream 5. Like,
besides Matt Who.
Don't laugh at his punchlines.
I wasn't expecting it. It just came like
You
one
gotta be ready for Jason.
Listen. Tom Brady is gone, so y'all done. Like y'all
wait,
good.
so
We can laugh.
time out, Jazz. How did I feel about Tom Brady?
Oh, he do be saying fuck Tom. But when Tom was winning them games, he was like, I'm all over Tom. He was like, Tom is my Bruce Wayne. Tell me
Okay, so that's a lie.
You're Bruce Wayne.
That's a lie. I've only compared Tom Cruise to Bruce Wayne. Nobody else. No other white people.
We're gonna talk about that too offline. That's kind of wild too. I would say I'm gonna go let Tom Brady with Bruce Wayne before Tom Cruise, but that's my personal opinion. But okay. We I don't want to turn this to a sports podcast, but we gonna discuss. We're gonna talk about that.
So, and like I said, so within this, we talk about trauma bonding. Well, you mentioned trauma bonding.
Yeah.
So we see how they're dealing with the trauma of the last incident. Both seem to be spiraling, but in a different way. Sam is more overprotective, trying to make sure she's good. She has 100 different locks on the door. She has 100 different knives in the house. She's ready for war. But then you have Tara. Tara is partying. She's the wild girl. She's putting herself in risky situations. And I don't want it to come out like I'm women shaming, but Tara was just being very reckless. Even when she wanted, because there was no more liquor, she was willing to go to some guy she didn't know, had no anything with this man, and just to go to his room to get what is a drink. So how did y'all feel about that dynamic between these two?
What you think, Jazz?
Wednesday was tripping.
One thing was kind of wrong a little bit, but I understand. Like I don't agree, but I understand that someone who has had like a lot of trauma, that they can just start wilding the fuck out. Like I get that. So like it makes sense that she would just make some bad decisions that almost getting killed. She was 18, I'm guessing.
No, she wasn't.
That was a bad decision. She was drunk, about to go in somebody's room upstairs. That's just
that's negligent.
Listen,
and she knew the chances of something going wrong was there.
True.
Which is crazy. Like I don't care how drunk you are, sis, like something go wrong, you just like, look, I don't care, I'm shooting this shit a drink. I'm good, y'all can go ahead and leave.
I mean, I'm not trying to shame you either, but it's like she just all right, let me not say that. But
be careful.
Well, it wasn't wild. I just all I'm saying is that she's gone through a lot, and I can see that how a young. So how old is she? She was like 18.
Well, they're in college, so she has to be at least 17. Not Sarah, not Sarah, but Sam is 5 years older, so that makes sense.
And I get the sense she just started it, so she's been college, she's a college student, but she's making bad decisions after, some wild shit that happened. I guess again, she was gonna do some wild shit, but I guess her point was to her sister that if she wanted to make a shitty decision, that's on her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the thing, and that Terry was trying to take that autonomy. Sam was trying to take that autonomy from her. And so even though it was wrong, I think that was the point. Now it was a bad decision she was about to do. She was her friends were right to come in, but she was definitely about to wild out though.
My nigga said autonomy. I'm in the SAT.
How do y'all feel about the dynamic between Tara and Chad? Because we really did not see their characters on screen at all in the last movie. So just to see,
so again, trauma. You see everybody there. Everybody is bonding over this situation that really fucked them up.
Mindy still ate me hoes.
Mindy stayed with her.
She stayed with you, but Mindy played it as if she was okay, but as the movie unraveled, we see she wasn't okay. She was just holding that front up to hold that front up. You know what I mean? So as she began to start to put herself in ways where she can lose herself, lose her brother, lose her love interest, we see how that actually played and portrayed on her, which will come into my theory of what the next one possibly could go into. Now that I've been saying it out loud, but I didn't have a problem with the relationship between Chad and Tara. It actually played out well. It played out kind of cute, but fun. situation. He got mad plot on Jurassic Park looking ass nigga. Listen, he got a movie about dinosaurs and nigga don't die. And we got a movie. So like is 2023 the year of the nigga? Because like this guy, like, he was sitting there getting shanked up like Dewey and he survived.
They had him up. Like he was neat.
The biggest issue with the movie though is that like to that point.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, the plot on because it's like not only were there two ghosts, they were three, and it fucking niggas up, and like a lot of people died. Like I mean, not to joke, like hey, Gail should have died.
A lot of people died, but if you made legacy characters, they killed no legacy ain't died in this movie. All 6 survived,
Which is wild.
That's a lot.
That's wild.
That's a lot.
That's wild.
Even though, but they killed a lot in this movie. Like a lot of people died in this movie. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess you include the people to get okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a lot of it's like they said, just cannon fodder, just people that was just put in place and they got. But he said, anybody that's standing in the way of me and you, I'm killing. So get everybody out the way, and it'll just be me and you.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, everybody that died in this movie was people that was introduced in this movie. People like no names. There was no connection really from the audience to any of these characters. But the way that I feel like they did it, they had every character that you could have been a fan of that you were familiar with. It was just you thought he was about to die.
Oh.
They were so close to dying. Gail,
I definitely thought Gail was.
I thought Gail was out of here. I was just
So let me stop you on there. So Scream 2, that's one of the best chase scenes in the Scream franchise. When you get in the newsroom at the school. How does this compare to that one? And not necessarily it's better, it beats it, but
I'm gonna say this one had me more on the edge because this Ghostface is crazy aggressive. Like this motherfucker was breaking down doors. He was not letting nobody stop him. He wasn't like, okay, let me go around the other side of the house. He said, no, fuck that. I'm gonna take this door and I'm gonna get through it. And he did. He ate his Cheerios and his weed because that motherfucker was strong as shit. He walked out.
Like he was a baby. Y'all, and he was he was taking hits.
Storm motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It was storm motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's what you want. I was taking with it. I'm like, well,
listen, I told you she got if you watch Swing 1 to 6, she get ready. No, I'm saying like if you watch it,
She get buddy.
she get ready. She get real ready.
Pretty.
he's saying he's aging like
She's 81. She's 81. Not
She
okay, that actually would be like say you are right.
She ain't like cheese. Because it's spoiled.
Okay, watch 25. You know good at 25?
Fuck no, she-
Come on, stop it.
fuck no.
That's what you're gonna do.
Jennifer Aniston.
It's just, I always thought you was
we're not about to turn this wall. We're not doing it. We're not
not going to go my sister. You took care.
that's what we're not doing here.
Okay, so look, put your chat.
Y'all say that.
Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox. You just had to think. With who is that?
I told y'all the last time we did Spring. Gail look at me. Okay, I see you to be going away.
She like the girl. I was looking at Sex in the City and like that, and it's like that or something like that. And she's aging like that. I said like 2. All 3.
We stop talking about it.
We stop talking about it.
Thank you.
We can get. We can get out of that. So they said they will bring back the chase.
They did a good job.
How did you feel about
The chase scenes in this movie was done very well. I would definitely say Gail's. I was like, shit, man, she's out of here. She was getting fucked up in every different. I don't know what she was. But then I also appreciated how, because y'all know, and I'll still say this, I hate City wasn't in this, but the way that she wasn't needed to be in this movie.
It wasn't really about.
But the thing is, Gail either. You didn't need Gail. There was nothing Gail brought into this because if you think about it, Kirby's relationship, she already knew Sam because they went to school together. So you didn't need Gail to be that bridge for them. You didn't need Gail. If Gail said I'm not coming back, they'd be like, shit, all right, cool, true, bye. Like we didn't need you. But it's one of the things to where it's like I like the fact that they kind of like left it kind of open to where if she wanted to come back in the seventh one, the opportunity is there. Because Tara Axel was like a sitcom, she was like, no, she picked up her husband and her kids and she getting the fuck out of here. She's not doing all that.
And we get another Screen 3 callback.
Yeah.
They say it's Mark. It's the husband.
That's, yeah.
There was not announced in the previous movie. It was assumed.
Nah, they asked how Mark was doing.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there was a scene when her and dude. Yeah, it was. It was like a real like it was like a kind of throwaway.
Yeah, it was. Because his response was, I think I'll keep him.
Yeah, because she's in New York and she got like 2 kids and she said like something just like out of it's a real fall.
Yeah, because I don't recall them saying that. I feel like there was a fan service thing for us, but I'm gonna let y'all hear me because y'all heard it, I didn't hear it. So I'm not gonna debate them.
One thing though I would say about Sid, Sid wasn't in 6 and 7. Like you look at like Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis was in every single Halloween. So like for characters leaving and coming back, like there is precedent. If it makes sense, then I'm cool. You know, I would love to see Nev in this, but like Jazz said, like it didn't really need her. It's not really about that.
We can't forget that Jamie Lee, one of her timelines was removed.
Yeah.
There's
like 4 or 5 in Jamie Curtis. They just insert her and move her out inside of the
sure. You don't need to do that shit.
It's canonically still in the same time. Yeah. There's no jumping from here, jumping from there. Yeah. Everything matches the way it needs to match. Yeah. Within these stories. But the killers. The story. Yeah, what did you feel about the story before we get into the
so what's crazy to me was I feel like that thought should have just crossed the line of a possible motive for the killer in this movie. Richie's family. Because we didn't know nothing about it. When you think about it, Scream 2, Billy Loomis's family, I'm sitting here like, damn, why did that? But then it also could have been Amber's family.
So it could have.
So it could have been.
That's what we said my son. That's what it was.
You was thinking it was Richie?
Whenever they said my son, I knew it was Richie. Did you guys guess any of the killers or have a inkling of who you thought it may have been?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so Ethan, I called him.
Okay.
I called him Ethan. I didn't think it was gonna be Kirby.
Kirby wasn't my sister.
Yeah, Kirby was just.
But now I knew it was gonna be a cop or cop-ish. I knew it was gonna be a cop because in the beginning of the movie, when they're talking to Jason, the guy who killed the professor, his line of questioning came off super cop, like a cop. I'm like, the way he's talking, it sounds like a cop, like a cop thing. What he's doing is this. So tell me how you felt about this, like they're therapeutic. Tell me how did it feel when you seen this or when you did this for the first time? So it definitely gave me a cop vibe. Now, which cop? I didn't know who that was going to be. Whether it was going to be, the detective whose daughter, who we saw that, which another Screen 3 callback, but it made a lot more sense this time because it was more so they didn't. No, the way they made her appear to be dead is, if you don't see it done on screen, it doesn't count. Whenever the kill isn't done on screen, it doesn't. I don't count the kills. But what I mean by that is because we didn't see it, we don't know what's going to happen. So her going into the room, they didn't have time to stop, check or post like they did with Roman. They had to get the fuck out of there because at this point, we know this nigga's in here and he's going crazy.
I'm just sitting here like, man. The boyfriend bought into, and then he was like, oh shit, he's dead. And I was like, yeah. And I thought Mindy was about to be out of here. Cause like, well, when we saw her girlfriend get cut up, I'm sorry, I wouldn't let her. I'm not bringing you along. I would have thought she was there already. So I would just pretend that you did, and we gonna go try to leave. Cause then she would have slowed us down. Y'all gonna try to say bad? I'm trying to say that. Jason, I'm saying. Jason, what?
I would try. I would try something.
Would you?
She would have probably stay in the room. Like if I'm mobile, still full strength. Yeah. You need to try to get one of these rooms to hide. Me carrying you. Yeah. If it came down to it, I'm just letting it go.
It also depends how long you've been together. Because that factor too. Because it's been 3 months versus 3 years. That's a big difference.
Is that 5 seconds gonna be like? This is in my life long enough. Nah, I'm out here.
Like I was trying to be a nice guy.
Our anniversary next week.
Listen, that's gonna factor into it because if you ain't been together that long, because I got the sense like they all in college, they couldn't have been together that long. So now that I'm thinking about it, like I mean, 6. Would you save your life? Would you risk your life for someone for 6 months?
Especially not if I got
What I'm doing in that situation is I'm putting them somewhere where they can cover and I can run. Because I'm not here to protect you. I'm just here to make sure you can. Yeah. So I'm trying to put you because I still have to make sure. Okay. So it's not like me trying to run with you. No, that's too much.
But this thing, oh girl, she could have gotten away. Potentially, she could have got a lot closer. Because when Ghostface was behind her, she could stop in the hands. And she could stop in the ladder. And she didn't fall anymore. And I know that's just the story, but she still could have stayed herself. So I mean she just didn't have the will to live, I guess.
It's the will and it's the skill. And she didn't have it. So she had to know. I want to be able to just pull the ladder back.
And she was already had a whole inside falling out. So she got
already stabbed.
If you see the loved one and they fucking guts is coming out, nah, we're not gonna get you to the hospital fast enough.
But you know what though? Now that I'm thinking about, so in that scene before then, old girl Quinn was talking to her dad, and her dad had made the comment that to stay away from the Carpenters because you know that they, you know, death was coming. I can't remember how you worded it, but essentially that like death was coming to them, and then you know his daughter gets killed. I was thinking, this is all hindsight, but I was thinking that he would have been mad at Tim and Sam. Because they essentially kind of got his daughter killed, and she was just, in the wrong place at the wrong time. So the fact that I feel like the parent would have been mad at them, and that he wasn't, he was still willing to work with them. I feel like looking back, that was kind of like a red flag that, he's not really reacting to a lot of person's work. Because just imagine if somebody essentially gets your daughter killed, and he was like, you know what, let's work together, let's let bygones be bygones, and you won't even get that emotion.
His crying did seem fake.
It's a two baby one quarterback looking at that now, but I feel like the signs were there that he was involved.
I mean, whenever you go, these movies they do reward a rewatch. So when you go back into it, a lot of things once you know, you will start to pick up on a lot of things as it's going within the story. And within this, one thing I do want to call out is like how Sam is she's still an idiot. Sam is still an idiot because she had 100 different phone calls to warn her, hey, it's a killing in your house. I answer this later. Gail calling her, hey, it's a killing. I'll get to that later. And then she get a text message, hey, everybody get this. So he didn't seem to have their numbers, but then some kind of way he found all their numbers to be able to send them an airdrop of a picture of Ghostface in the room fucking the girl.
What you think, Jazz?
That's my only plot hole in this movie. How the fuck? Because he didn't seem to have had her number at first, but then he magically had everybody in their house number to send them a picture of Ghostface in the other room.
So was it an airdrop?
It had to have been there. That's the only way they would have explained. But I mean, the way it came through,
right? Because it came like everybody got it at the same time. So that means Ghostface got an iPhone. I don't buy. What company?
I mean, I guess it could have been like in a group chat because you think that if
the Ghostface didn't drop the picture.
Ghostface didn't send a picture to all of them.
The boyfriend sent the pictures to him.
No. It was Ghostface who sent the picture. It was the boyfriend who was trying to call.
I'm somebody sent the picture of them saying he was in the room killing the sister.
So the boyfriend took the picture and sent him everybody.
Oh, did he?
The picture like, hey bitch, look what I'm doing over here.
When I looked at it, I was like,
come in this room, bitch.
I thought he was talking to them. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. But then I was just like, damn, Ghostface hit it from the back. I thought it was. No, because I thought Ghostface took it in the mirror. I legit thought the picture was taking Ghostface.
The way it looked up, and she was kind of, she was getting around.
Her mouth was open.
I mean, she was getting.
Yeah, she was sex positive in her words. But now that you say that, it do make sense. I just because Ghostface had to fuck with you, but now it makes sense that it was the boyfriend, the boyfriend, and then how did he get the number? So yeah, that is something that like
airdropping makes more sense because you don't have to.
Yeah, that's okay. Then yeah,
especially if everybody, if you have that setting where it's like you get airdrops from everybody.
That's a quick ass thinking though. I'm not sure if I would have thought to do all that.
Do you think he had a toaster?
Toaster. Like a toaster?
Like a toaster.
I don't think so.
He could have put his toaster at the fucking window.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You could have been something.
He could have been. He could have missed every throw.
And that window, you got anything about like the under, throw it. I mean, but again, I don't know if I'm gonna think about all of that in the moment.
You know, Sam, he probably Sam Dawn.
To be honest, I'm gonna run over and just start banging on the door, which wouldn't have been smart.
You did the right thing.
You need to run the door.
I saw that situation.
He had a ladder. Somewhere we had a ladder in his room in the house to pass.
We can get a ladder.
I guess when you in New York, that's what happens.
Like people drag a ladder around the house and put it in the window.
Hey,
That's how she go see him at night.
So what y'all favorite kill? What was y'all favorite kill of the movie?
It definitely wasn't the therapist. That was kind of like, okay. But honestly, it was eerie because that how the trailer made you think. You thought that scene was going
Into that house.
right. But then I was just like, why do you get a therapist?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand.
He wanted her records.
And I guess he was just in the way.
Gotcha.
He wanted her records.
Yeah.
He could have just been like, let me get that paperwork.
Because of that, I mean, that leaking, I mean, they needed that to leak out to let them know, because technically they're supposed to keep that a secret, but if you put the information out there for people to know, she is, you know, because she told the therapist, she went ahead and was honest with them and said, you know, her killing Richie, it felt good, it felt right. So you put that information out there because the theory, which is not one of my theories from the previous, you know, she's gonna be the killer or she's gonna evolve into the killer. They used it as a theme throughout the movie to make it, to throw you off, you know, for the most part, to say it's her or try to allude to her being who she is and whatnot. So that was, I like how they tied that into it too. So them getting that information spins it even more, so people like, yeah, nah, that bitch did that.
I think they used a lot of content and comments that was seen last year and put in this movie, which I thought was dope. Because like you said, your theory about Sam, and then it's funny seeing that Richie's whole thing kind of backfired. Like, well, I guess in terms of her, Sam became the villain. After that whole thing, she's like, wait a minute, Richie was killing all these people, killed a cop in front of her house, and just like, wow, it's Amber. But they was just like fanatics. And you see the aftermath of his influence, because you got people over here trying to, you know, go kill the carpenter assistants, the characters from the beginning, but the cop was like, yeah, nah, you ain't doing shit.
Hey, remember I told you, Amber was doing all that work. Amber, that's all. She was saying, hey, you do that. I said, nah, Amber was doing, and Richie wasn't doing shit. He was watching movies. He was like the person just talking. Amber was, she was getting everything, and she caught it until the day. Like, your daddy up there, some pussy, empathy, and all that.
Said Olympic.
She did. She had to, but man, this another subversion, another a difference in this movie. We got 3 killers.
Love that.
Jazz Carter. We're not, man. So a lot of things that was throwing me off, man. They pop in the room, in between the is it Tara and Chad kissing? And Tara gets stabbed first. She gets stabbed in the back first. In this, and then Chad throwing hands with Ghostface. So they have it though. I feel like they have the team to make this shit work. They just don't utilize the team, but they fight them, they kicking them in the stomach, they beat his ass. They don't just stay on the attack. They get to beat his ass and run, bitch. Beat his ass and run.
And by the way, like they locked in. So when you run into it, you don't really have to go. It's locked in.
Chad got him dead to rights, about to kill him. Boom. Second Ghostface pop in. This is the first time we seen 2 Ghostface on screen in mass outside of Screen 4 fake out.
So during the scene, a piece of me was like, another Ghostface gotta pop up. I was like, another one gotta pop up.
I want this to be the first kill and reveal that we get. Yeah, I don't think we had that yet. The kill and reveal. Like they go ahead and kill the killer and they reveal them right there. I don't think we had. I thought that's what was about to happen.
That would be dope. Because especially being that we got at the beginning, we got to kill, blood splats on Ghostface's face, and then it reveals who it is at the beginning of the introduction. So this movie had me thinking anything was possible, which had me on the edge of my seat because I was just like, okay, definitely something new. I didn't know where we were going. And I'm like, 2 of y'all, and y'all both in sync. Y'all motherfuckers supposed to be at that. It's like, you ready to open up the knife out your hand? 1, 2. They probably did that shit for a few days.
They was in production with Richie a lot. They was in production with Richie a lot.
But yeah, I was just like, well, look, I was just like, damn, Chad did for real this time.
I mean, they got Chad.
These damn sons of somebody and still don't kill him.
Man. And then we have whenever they give you a red herring in these movies, that's typically never killing. All right, so Kirby's back. How'd y'all feel about Kirby since Scream 4? Her return to the Scream franchise. How'd y'all feel about her return?
I mean, I'm a good character. I mean, she's kind of quirky character in some ways. She wasn't before. I feel like in this one, she was a little bit more grounded. And I guess a little bit more mature. I guess about 12 years have passed. Getting stabbed will definitely make you blow up, I liked her character. I liked that she went from like how she was in Scream 4 to being an FBI agent in this one. So that was like a big 180. So I liked her in this one. And honestly, I kind of liked her a little bit more in 6 than I did before. I know before she was a fan favorite, but I liked her character. I think she gave a different dynamic to her. I feel like she felt very grounded, and she felt like she was kind of like steady in the group in a lot of ways. And I definitely like the fake out because I did think it was her because it made sense. I'm like, okay, maybe like she just lost her shit and then she came back, and it looked like that it would have been her. So I feel like that was a nice fake out. One thing I would have done is something I'm thinking about. Did she actually get fired, or did that cop just say that? You can just make that up.
I think it was just said.
Oh, okay, straight that up
to throw her off the church.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see them allowing her in the police station the way they did. She had her own room. Everything was set up now to get more information on her. I definitely understand that, but he has to do what he had to do to keep them to split them up as much as he can, so he can go ahead and make it into the room when we get the reveal of the third killer. How y'all feel about this?
I was like, what the hell is this? But then I was like, oh, I was right. There's 3 of these motherfuckers out here. Yes. But it caught me off guard because I was just like, okay, who's old ass man? And then I was thinking, was his son? I didn't even connect to be Richie. I thought it was just a random body from other movies. And the parents just like waiting around, okay, we gotta learn how to be killers.
Like Sid.
Shit. But I mean, I don't know, I'm on the fence with the dad.
With the dad, yeah. I mean, it's a different take because usually like serial killers are like the black sheep of the family, and like you're not gonna have like a family of serial killers. So that's different. But I'm not sure how I like that, and I'm not sure how I feel about those motivations. I mean, I guess like that if they all are just serial killers, and I guess they all were. I mean, it makes sense to see how Richard became the way he was, but they were just a family of serial killers, and a family of psychopaths, even before Richie and Amber did what they did. But it just don't make sense logically that you were a normal person and then Richie kills people and gets killed in the process and you want revenge because your son was a serial killer. Like that motivation is just kind of iffy to me.
It's a little bit different. It definitely urban legend, I feel like, is where she became where her boyfriend was the killer. But her boyfriend died and she started killing the different people in that little, I don't know, was it the friend group or was it just?
It was the front group, yeah.
So you've had movies or situations like that. But I felt, I guess it was that traumatic situation that triggered that made them go and I want to get this bitch. Like, everything in here was about the subreddit and different Reddit groups of different people reading and fan theories and fan things, and like they knew exactly who their son was. They raised to be who he was. They put these things in his space. They put these things in front of him. But that for them it was just like he even bought the goddamn place for Richie with the shrine.
That shit was crazy.
Like he put everything inside, like I said, inside the place with him. So all of that was just like they look at the things that you hear about parents and the stuff they do for their kids, like the Murdoch case. I mean, that kind of sounds similar to that. Like how that was.
I don't have too much information on that.
I just started learning about that case. I would say not either. Well, that's beside the point, but I just found that out. I think she was in Orlando or something happened. I'm not really that.
Sometimes there's more so just, something like best case scenario.
Yeah.
The parents try to help the kid that's going through these different psychological issues. But even okay, so we go with Don. The dad didn't not necessarily agree with what he was doing, but he put that shit. He taught him most of this stuff. He taught him how to taxidermy. Yeah. And he started doing that on people. Like all these different picking up roadkill in the middle of the street, and this is the bonding that you have with the child. There's a lot you can bond over a baseball being tossed across the room. We're gonna kill dead animals and show you how to put them back together after you kill them.
So did you think that they were always kind of psychopaths, or do you think that like Richie did his own thing and that like him dying just triggered something in them?
I think they were triggered by in the way that he was killed, and everybody. My son was killed. And she is now look like this little angel. Fuck that, let's spin this. And then let's go do these and make her who we want to. We're gonna spin this story where we want to spin it for her. Because we're not gonna lose our son, our brother, and you just don't get away with it. Just run off in the sunset.
But that's wild because like she a victim. Like, I know what you're saying, but she a victim, so she's not getting away with anything. Like try to kill her.
Really, they don't care.
Yeah, they really don't care.
They were a friend group of people.
Yeah, they did. It was wild.
So they just not no accountability at all.
Like zero
Like he was involved with the whole family, like Hicks and West.
Yeah.
Like they know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. How did y'all feel about finally being able to see Kirby and Mindy in the scene together? The two people that's kind of only other characters that's related to them on the same level is Frank when he's dead. But the two people that was movie busting this entire franchise, like seeing them go back and forth. Like, how did y'all feel about their exchange?
I think they lied. They said Candyman, the old or the new one, but I get it. They want to shout out to Jordan Peele. So shout out to Jordan Peele, Black creator. No shots to you, brother. But with them being on the screen, it was dope. Because, I mean, that's technically how we got started. It's just us, the love for movies, whether it's horror, action, whatever, Marvel, whatever it is, we can talk about it, we can BS about it, we can say our favorites. And I may feel the way about your favorite in a franchise, you may feel the way about my favorite, but it's still our favorite. And we can talk about all of them if we want to. So I enjoyed that, I wasn't waiting for it, but I enjoyed the same.
Yeah, same. I wasn't expecting it, and honestly, I didn't think we were gonna get Kirby that much in this movie. We got Kirby a lot more than I expected. So I was just like, okay, like she was a key character. It wasn't no cameo 10 minutes. But then I was like, Kirby, where you at? You were missing. Then she come back and leave and shit. I'm like, did you get your ass beat or are you a killer? She just got her ass beat.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It was just like a scene I was waiting for, but it was good to see. Seeing two characters who are movie buffs, who are passionate about it, love it, who really add a lot to the franchise, who are fan favorites in a lot of ways. Seeing them together, that was cool. And I wasn't sure what to expect of Kirby. I figured she would be more than a cameo, but I didn't think she would get as much screen time as we got. Right. So somewhere in between, because she was definitely like a supporting character. And I guess I thought she would be like more like a side character. So it was definitely good. And I guess maybe she took some of Ned's screen time, maybe. That maybe what Ned would have gotten, like if the movie was rewritten. I'm just kind of guessing something. So maybe that's why she got as much. Maybe that's why she did it in the movie, possibly. I'm not sure. But it was good to see her. It was definitely good to see her. I think she's a cool character. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Did you have it felt like you had something? Did you have
No.
Okay, gotcha. So the death of the killers. I'm definitely a fan of the villain getting the overkill. What did y'all think about the kills on the killers? And of course, I feel like the sister was the weakest. This gun scene didn't really hit like the previous one for me. But I don't think the killer got killed, shot with a gun. As far as them getting shot, her kill wasn't. What did y'all think about the kills and these killers in this movie?
Sam went in again, stabbing this man 200 times, and he's still able to talk.
And Jerry was looking at her like,
Look at her the sign.
yeah, she's like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, but she held the knife with the end, like, I'm for the kid. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, just kidding. Nothing big.
I like that. The brother died. I thought his school kind of like, what do you call it? Like, Kirby, did she push the thing in there or like
She threw the fucking TV.
yeah, and he like
Stu's TV because
Stu's
it was
TV.
like, is he really dead? I know
They
check the
finally,
service.
they finally addressed on him in the movie. Nah, that nigga dead. There is no more Stumacher. Don't ask for it. He's out there. Yeah.
was there ever a thing where like Stu's body was like not found? Like where did that thing come from?
People just wanted Matthew to come back.
Yeah, I feel it.
It came from West. That's what he was supposed to be one of the killers in Scream 3. It was a theme of this cult following, just like in this movie. That was one of the scripts that was out there. They did rewrites and they took that back out of there. So from that, it's just been kind of up in the air whether he was alive or if he's still alive. But last movie they had an Easter egg, which doesn't necessarily count because they didn't drop it. It was just a picture they dropped online type of thing. Him where they showed the body where he actually died, TV killed him. So yeah, that was a nice callback to that screen.
But yeah, I like the kid with the cop, the dad. It was definitely over the top. He got stabbed in the arm, and then she just kept kind of going in on him. I mean, it was cool. I mean, they were pretty brutal themselves. So I mean, they were just fast their energy. So I mean, I thought it was cool. But I think Sam definitely does have like
Anger issues.
yeah, she got something. Like, definitely got. I know she got the psychiatric issue. I'm not sure if she's like schizophrenic or like what's exactly going on. But she's obviously like seeing her dad.
We didn't even get to mention Billy. That was my biggest issue with this.
I had two. I definitely had two.
Never like in last movie, Billy was not needed.
I like so we Billy right? So Skeety's bad. Skeet.
He just don't go.
It goes anywhere actually. So for me, I did like if they would have limited it, if they would have limited it to just his voice, I would have loved the same. If she would have just been able to hear the voice, even though, like I said, she does not know what the man sound like, so I don't know why she could hear the voice. I know why she could see the face. Why she hear the voice, she shouldn't be able to. But I would have been okay with her hearing his voice, like, or if it was her voice that she was hearing, like she could hear her own voice, but talking like it was her dad. I would have liked that, and then we didn't have to have a visual of it. It was done a lot better because it wasn't overdone.
Yeah.
In this movie, but like him motivating her to go and do what she was gonna do anyway. There's no, she doesn't need a motivating factor to go kill people that's killing people in front of her. I think she has a pretty good understanding of what needs to happen,
and she didn't know that. So then
that's what I said. That's what I said. Like I compared it to Creed, right? Like it was compared to the situation. It's like he at least in Creed, his dad was on TV. You can listen to his dad. He was a boxer. He was it's not that for Billy. Billy was just some high school kid that got upset when his mom left and he began killing people. So there's pictures and things of that nature. But like as far as what him, what he sounds like, and she wouldn't know that. So he was creating that. And yeah, like that fan service we don't need.
I agree, and I feel like one of my issues with 5, and I don't know if y'all felt this, but especially at the end when her dad was like motivating her to get back up, essentially, that felt like what about more supernatural a little bit. It felt almost that she was like it's just supernatural, and I didn't like it because I feel like they were doing a good job with it being like a mental health issue, a psychiatric issue, but then it became supernatural. So I feel like with this one, it became strictly like psychiatric, even though it doesn't totally make sense. But that was probably my biggest issue with 5. And I'm with you. I don't think we necessarily need that fan service either. I think that we know that she's fucked up. We know that like her dad's a killer. We knew that whatever darkness was in him could likely be in her. And I feel like we could show that other ways. I think that when she was like looking at his mask and picked up a knife, I feel like that was like good in. Like we know that okay, there's something in her. We don't necessarily need to like have her dad like talking to her. Like this that's a little bit over the top and a little bit maybe a bit on the nose a little bit. So I don't necessarily think we need that either.
So 2 things before I get out here. So the bodega scene. They walk into the bodega. We see Ghostface for the first time, shotgun, laying niggas out. How y'all feel about this scene?
I mean, I definitely like the scene because that's the main scene that they dropped trying to come up with the movie. I thought the scene was dope. It's funny, he was able to get out the back door. I mean, he got dude's keys. He can stab his ass up. So, but I was just like, y'all with that small ass bodega, y'all trying to hide. He gonna find you. It's like 2 hours in there. So he obviously was planning a video because these are the people you're trying to get. So you gotta collect more bodies before you can get to your main course. But I definitely like this scene. But I love it when they drop it in the trailer.
Yeah, I did too.
A lot of people had issues with the scene though, because so people were saying that because Ghostface doesn't use a knife, but I feel like characters don't have to make the same for one thing. But two, knowing that there was like one of them, there was a cop that was one of the Ghostface, now it makes sense that he would use a gun and that he would use it so well. Yeah. So now it makes sense to me. I feel like that's what you gotta let things drop. You know, you can't go from a trailer, you gotta watch the movie. But even if it wasn't a cop, I wouldn't have felt that upset about that. I like it was cool. Another thing that I think that the movie, it got, because that was one of the earlier scenes, it kind of got to it kind of quickly, so I like that too. It wasn't dragging.
Right.
No, pacing is great. Like they, and this probably had, is this the most views you got in a screen movie?
I gotta go back and think, but it's definitely up there.
Because it felt like we got a trigger almost every scene. Like there wasn't a scene where a death didn't happen.
Right.
You know, from one to one. In here, but did you guys have any other points that you wanted to speak on, you want to disagree on, or to fight about within the movie?
One point that was bothering me is the therapist. Like, yeah, okay. So he asked her to open up, and then as soon as he does, like he can stop doing his job.
Did he stop doing his job? But their job is to report any self-harm or any harm you can do to another person. That's what they're obligated to do within it. So yes, as long as it's within the ramifications of what we're saying, but this one just told you she enjoys killing.
Well, she didn't say she was gonna kill somebody.
She said she enjoyed killing.
She didn't word it like that.
She did.
She didn't say explicitly she enjoyed killing. She said like in that when it was self-defense, it made her happy in self-defense, but she didn't say that.
She didn't say self-defense.
But it was self-defense though.
I understand what you said. He went out where he had words.
She
said I was happy during killing the person.
He should have asked more questions because
he should have asked lock this bitch up.
But he don't
know
but if you don't want to do a crazy bitch, why is he a psychiatrist?
I mean, that's the point. His job is to be able to report to the authorities.
But I'm saying, but it's not, but if she would have said, I want to kill someone, saying that you enjoy killing, and I want to become like a technical terrorist, but saying you enjoy killing somebody, like in self-defense, she isn't saying that I am gonna kill somebody. I feel like there's a difference. She wasn't saying that I'm gonna kill somebody.
If I enjoy killing it, what's gonna stop me from doing it again? If I enjoy it, if you enjoy something, you're gonna do it. You're not gonna just do something like, oh, you know, I enjoyed it though. No, if you can do it again, you probably will. And it's not like you have to pay to do it. You go find somebody, a random person, just kill.
But I feel like that's that therapist's job to help us suppress those urges.
The fuck? Yeah, that's not their job.
If somebody say you're a killer, if somebody say that, hey, you know, you fucked up, I'm a killer, you know, I think about bringing people, what are we telling them to do? Seek therapy. And we take them to therapy and we say, now we can't go.
Therapy, now when you go into therapy though, have you been to therapy?
I have not been to therapy, but I have been to counseling before.
Gotcha. So in therapy, they're more so to help you with the emotions that you don't know what to do. Right? Like it's not a thing of they can't help you, they can't make you suppress anything that you want to do because if you have an urge, you're gonna scratch it. Or if you like these, but they can try to help you in it. But if this is a situation of I know you did this, it's apparent that I know that you did this, it's something that you did and you took a liking to it. My duty now is to get you to the right, get this to the right authorities, which I feel like this is where them coming into the house to get that. Because it was reported, so now we need to get this information out here and get it out to the people about it. So that's not a therapy shot.
But in that scene, the way I took it in that scene, she wasn't saying she wanted to kill somebody. She wasn't saying that she wanted to be murdered. She was just saying, and because it was self-defense, when she killed, it was technically self-defense, and she was saying she did enjoy it. But I didn't take that as gonna say she wanted to be a murderer. She was just saying
I didn't take it as if she wanted to be a murderer too, but you enjoying killing is a problem. No matter what you do.
So that's because
Cause just like Dom, it started with him enjoying killing animals. And then he eventually began killing love interests.
The difference with that though is that was not self-defense.
It don't matter if it's self-defense. If you a kill is a kill. You're murdering something is a murder.
So if somebody run up on you with a gun and you fight back and you kill them, self-defense, you can say it's a murder.
Yes, you're right. You're still a murderer.
Okay,
You're now. What do I do at that moment? Forward? Am I now going around killing people because I'm a murderer because I'm some kind of vigilante type person?
Yeah.
Probably not. But if that was somehow just like, man,
I'm saying, but this is the thing though. But I feel like Sam felt that. She's saying that I got the implication. She was saying she don't want to feel that way. So that's why I feel like with him saying that I can't handle this.
he should have shot him.
He should have shot him.
He should have shot.
He should have shot him.
He should have shot.
The things.
Yeah, he should have shot him.
I mean, put it down like
Like
Oh, yo, take it to the back.
But then you look down his face.
yeah, shoot her like that.
Yeah, that's like that.
But we'll have to revisit this. This thing about more dialogue definitely had.
Yeah, that's
So we'll definitely have to go back to this.
But of course, the reason we're here is was it good though? Scream 6.
It was definitely good. It was definitely good. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Yes, I would definitely say it's good. No hesitation.
I'm satisfied. My happy is satisfied. But you guys have a latest for the movie.
No Billy.
No Billy.
We didn't need Billy.
I don't think that's good.
Oh shit. More bodies.
Nobody.
Legacy bodies. Oh, my other issue, bar is like give it that. But of course, you remove plot armor, then you got more bodies. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I guess they're playing good four-sided film, and you need these characters, and I guess they don't want to have them constantly shuffling. But it was just the way some of the characters survive are ridiculous. I'm cool with them surviving, but like it has to make sense. Like if you get stabbed like that, like you're not living. Like how Chad got stabbed, Gail. I guess Gail can kind of make sense. More so to me, it was really just Chad. He should not be alive.
right.
And I like his character, but he should not be alive.
It's kind of so for me. It's kind of hard to say because I don't know what a person can and will survive when it comes to it. If, you know what they're gonna do. So real shit. 50 Cent got shot 9 times. He survived it. He's an anomaly to this situation. Little TJ just got shot like 13 sometime in New York, and he survived it. He's back on stage. He's rapping. So there's anomalies to these situations. So so how that works, you know, I don't know what organs they were hitting, but they were in the chest and shoulder area. They weren't in the chest, in the abdomen, hitting spleens and things. Yeah. So you know, I'm not an anatomy person, so I can't point out what it looked like they were doing some technical stabs. Based on the aerial knowledge.
If it was one character, then I'll be like, okay, cool. But with Mindy, Chad, and Gail surviving like some kind of brutal attack, like that was just kind of like, you know. But other than that's probably like my main issue with that. There was definitely some heavy problem on that. But
Legacy Act definitely should have got pop. They should have got some two or three of them. So if they do make it 7, we definitely may do some legacy acts. And I don't know where the story can progress and where it can go from here. But I do feel as if Jasmine Savoy's character, Mindy, that would be my first sign of a killer. I know Charlie was the first nerd that we had. Do we count him as nerd or expert? Because
I guess so.
Kirby is this.
I mean both.
So I feel like Mindy would be. She has so many motivating factors to kill Sarah and Sam at this point. So I would love to see. We haven't had a black killer yet, so I would love to see the twins turn out to be killers in the next movie. You have a love interest and you have the nerd teaming up. And the reason being, you got my girlfriend killed. Every time I'm around you, all these different situations happening. I done got stabbed up. My brother done got stabbed up. And I'm done fucking with y'all. And how we end that is the best of us wins.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
The sibling rivalry fight, you know, snowball time. That's in the truth.
Do y'all have any other thrones?
So I'm gonna pull this up. This is live on here. League of Thrones, Kris. I know you're familiar with it, but it's fine. An acting in this movie. You just name something that they gave you previously. And if I can give you this, if you need to look at it.
Well, I guess, just off the top of my head, General Taker was in season 3 of you. I might be getting the seasons mixed up. Season 2 or season 3?
No, I believe she was
2.
It was
Yeah. So she was in mine.
Okay.
And that was actually the very first thing that I think I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was, I guess, like, yeah, she did well in that. Did not think she would be here, but yeah, she was mine.
Ain't no wrong with that. Okay. I'll go next. I will pick Danny. Josh Segar. Oh, I took yours. Let me get that reaction before it. Bet. And he was in She-Hulk.
Who was he in She-Hulk?
She was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who you got, Jason?
Yeah, so I'm going back through this because.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That's who I wanted. If I was gonna go with Arrow, he was definitely a great killer. So that's who I wanted to be the killer. I wanted Dan to be the killer. I'm gonna go with Dermoy Maroney. This was the
therapist.
Not therapist. This was the cop. The father. I've already used the righteous gemstones. So I won't use that, but I will use Purge. He was in a TV series of the Purge.
Okay.
That's what's up. Well, gentlemen, this is our review. I'm gonna close this out. Our review for Scream 6. Kris, thank you for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. Was there any last words? You got 30 seconds.
Episode 40, man.
Yes.
40 of them. Jesus.
I know. A lot.
That's all I got, man. Appreciate y'all for checking in and tapping in with us.
Definitely. For everybody listening and watching, we appreciate the support. Hope y'all enjoy it, and definitely go check out Scream 6.
Deuces.
Cheers. As you.
Thank you for having me.